Okay. Primero, first step, singular. And move it down a little bit. Singular, plural. Y aquí, primera persona, segunda persona y tercera persona. Y ahora los pronombres. Yo, but we're going to put the pronouns way over to the left. We're going to leave space for the verb because the verb is the main event. The pronouns are just the prelude. Which pronoun goes here? Tú. Y aquí, tercera persona singular. Usted. Ella. Who else? Otro? Ella. Okay. Not ella. Remember that one's hardly ever used? Ella. And what's the masculine singular? El. Okay. Plural. What's the plural of yo? Sí. Nosotras. I'm going to do the feminine for fun. What goes here? Sí. Perfecto. Vosotras. Ustedes. Ellas. Otro. Otro. Ellas. Y. Otro. Ellos. Super. Patito feo. Ok. Ahora otro color diferente. Azul es muy bueno. Nice color that stands out. Okay. El verbo de hoy, today's verb is hablar. Hablar. In inglés, to speak or to talk. Okay. In Spanish, this form of the verb has a special name. It's called the infinitive. The infinitive in Spanish always ends with an R, and the stress always goes on that syllable, hablar. In English, the infinitive always has to in front of it. To speak, to talk, to walk, to go. All right. The first step is to identify which kind of verb this is. There are three kinds of verbs in Spanish: AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs, depending on the ending. So which one is this? This is an AR verb, so we're going to write that at the top to identify, because that's going to help us in a moment. We're going to need to refer to that. Okay, the first step you do before you write any more letters is you take the infinitive and you separate the ending. So I want you to draw this hook like so. We're taking off the AR, and that is called the ending. So label that part the ending, and anything in front of the ending is called the stem. So now we have the stem, we have the ending, we've identified it as an AR verb. your Spanish teacher says, this is a regular verb. Some verbs are irregular, not this one. This one's nice and normal. It doesn't do anything unusual in terms of how it's formed or the spelling. Okay, so since you now know it's a regular verb, you can take the first step of filling in the boxes in this way. We're going to take the stem and only the stem and copy it into every single box. And of course we have to leave a little space for the ending. I like to use all capital letters because it's easier to see. We want to help our brains learn new information. And this is one way, along with the colors, it makes it more memorable to stick in your brain better. You don't want to make your brain have to squint and figure out, now what's that letter? Is that an A or is that an E or whatever? Make it nice and clear and big. And that's why I tell you when you do your chart, take up the whole paper, okay? Make it easier on your brain. Okay, so now we're done with that color. I'm going to go back to maroon. Okay, so this is how verbs work in Spanish. Each one has a different ending, very different from English. English, we only have the one change. He walks, all the other times is walk, right? Okay. For the yo form, the yo form is special. It does its own thing. It always has an O. Almost always at the end. There's a few times when we have estoy and doy, right? Those are the few exceptions. All the others, it ends with an O. We're going to draw an arrow from the O of yo to the O on the end of the verb and make two ends on the arrow. They always rhyme. They always match. Yo hablo. Yo hablo español. Now we're going to put a little check mark because we're done with the yo form. So as I said, the yo form does its own thing. All the others are going to have a different vowel after them. I'd like you to take a guess. Do you think it's going to be an A or an E or an I? Because it's an AR verb. So that's what we're going to put on all the other stems. Okay? All right, so now for third person is done. Habla. Usted habla francés y español. So this is the one we've used the most, right? Third person singular. You've seen that a lot, and I've told you it either ends with an A or an E. Okay? And this is also why I've emphasized to you on quizzes and tests, you have to write the whole thing. It's not just speaks, it's he or she. It could also be usted, you speak, right? Okay. Second person, tú, is going to end with an S. I like to make it nice and big because we're used to having the S go on third person in English. He walks, not in Spanish. It doesn't go there, it goes here. Make it big. Tú hablas español en la clase de español. So now we're done with that one. All right. Nosotros, of course, it's long. It's going to have a long ending. 3 letters. M-O-S. Any word that ever ends with M-O-S, I've mentioned before, it automatically is a verb, and it's automatically first person plural, we. Okay? Hablamos. Nosotras hablamos francés. We're done with that one. Vosotras, just like second person, it's going to end with an S, but we're going to squeeze a skinny little letter in front of it. The vosotros always ends with IS, and it usually has an accent. The accent goes on the A because this is an AR verb. And then down here, the plural of habla is hablan. Again, I like to make that nice and big to help your brain see it. The plural of habla is hablan. So now we're done with all of these, and actually we can write in, if you have a third color, or you can use pencil, what they mean. So what does yo hablo mean? Who speaks? I speak. So I'm just going to write that in small letters because that's not as important to be learning. Tú hablas means who speaks? You speak. And usted habla. What does usted habla mean? You speak again. Good job. Trick question. Now, what's the difference between tú and usted? What's that term? Difference between tú and usted? One's formal and one's informal. Which one is which? Is tú formal or informal? Informal. So we're going to label that. I don't always do this, but. So that means usted is formal. Okay, and how do you translate these three? Ella habla. Who speaks? She or he? Or they, but I'd like to just stick with she or he, and I'll show you why in a minute. Nosotras hablamos. Who speaks? Who is nosotras? We speak. Vosotros habláis. Who is vosotros? Vosotras. It's not they. Take another guess. Y'all, good. Y'all or you, informal, speak. If you want to write y'all, you can. It's only used where? Mexico or España? España. Where it originated, of course. Okay. Ustedes hablan? It's just the plural of usted habla. So that one is you speak. And now we have ellas, ellas, ellos. All three of those words mean the same thing. What do they mean? Say it again. Do you have it? They. It's just masculine, feminine, non-binary. So I just like to really emphasize they is third person plural. And that's why I kind of don't put it there. I just like to keep it clear. Because everybody is guessing they everywhere else. It only goes here. Just to keep it simple. Okay. Au fin, the end of your first verb. Ta-da! Ole! Muy bien.